Okay, I wanted to welcome everyone and thank you for coming. My name is Anita Nickerson. I am the Interim Executive Director of Fair Vote Canada. Fair Vote Canada is a grassroots, multi-partisan citizens campaign for a more proportional voting system. I'm really happy to be joined today by the Leader of the Official Opposition, the Honourable Thomas Mulcair, Stéphane Dion, the Liberal critic for intergovernmental affairs, Georges Larocque, the Deputy Leader of the Green Party of Canada, and Matthew Carroll, the Campaigns Director for LeadNow.ca. We are here to launch our Make Every Vote Count campaign, and what this campaign is about is getting a commitment from each of the parties to implement a more proportional voting system. So Fair Vote Canada believes that it is not acceptable that a single party of any stripe with 39% of the popular vote should get 54% of the seats and 100% of the power. We believe that no matter who you vote for or where you live in Canada, your vote should count. And we are very pleased to announce that this week we've hit 25,000 signatures on our Declaration of Voters' Rights, which is our petition for equal votes and proportional representation. Our current winner-take-all system wastes over 7 million votes each election. So every election, 7 million voters in Canada cast ballots that have absolutely no impact on the election. We get distorted results and adversarial politics that are turning Canadians off. Fair Vote Canada believes in evidence-based policy on electoral reform, and that's why we point to the fact that 6 commissions and assemblies in Canada now who have all studied this issue have all recommended a more proportional voting system for Canada. So PR is not about parties, it's about voters, it's about equality for voters, fairness, and getting a House of Commons that reflects the diversity of Canada. So I'm here to invite everybody in Canada to join the Make Every Vote Count campaign at www.fairvote.ca. And I'm now pleased to introduce the Leader of the Official Opposition, Thomas Mulcair.
Morning. Bonjour. Avant toute chose, j'aimerais féliciter Anita et toute l'équipe de Représentation Équitable Canada pour sa détermination à renforcer notre démocratie. Quand on y pense, c'est assez ironique de se rencontrer ici pendant la semaine de la démocratie, dans l'édifice même où devraient se trouver les députés, mais qui ne sont pas là parce que le premier ministre a décidé de proroger le Parlement encore une fois. Depuis 2 ans, les conservateurs utilisent leur majorité en Chambre pour étouffer les débats sur les projets de loi et pour bafouer nos principes démocratiques. Pire encore, on parle ici d'un gouvernement qui n'a même pas obtenu l'appui d'une majorité des électeurs. Les Canadiens méritent mieux. Canadians deserve to know that their vote counts, that every vote counts. That's why New Democrats are the only party with a long-standing commitment to proportional representation. In fact, Ed Broadbent was one of Canada's earliest proponents of proportional representation and democratic reform nearly 40 years ago. And my friends, we've never needed that reform, that renewal of our democratic institutions, more than we do today. Everywhere I go, I meet Canadians who are engaged in their communities but turned off by politics. They've lost faith in our democratic process. That's got to change. C'est pourquoi le NPD a présenté une stratégie d'ensemble qui institue d'abord une réforme du mode de scrutin, en plus de mesures pour renforcer nos institutions démocratiques. On propose notamment d'abolir le Sénat non élu, de rendre notre démocratie plus participative en autorisant, par exemple, le dépôt de pétitions électroniques. Pourquoi pas? Et de modifier la loi électorale du Canada pour empêcher le recours à des tactiques honteuses de suppression du vote pratiquées par les conservateurs. New Democrats are putting forward a comprehensive plan, not just to strengthen how our voting system works, but to strengthen our democratic systems as well. That means abolishing the unelected and undemocratic Senate, means allowing Canadians to influence what's debated in Parliament through online petitions, and it means changing the Elections Act to prevent the kind of voter suppression we saw from the Conservatives time and again. Tonight I'll be in Toronto with the NDP's Democratic Reform critic, Craig Scott, as well as Fair Vote Canada, to meet with Canadians and to discuss our plan for proportional representation. Craig is touring from coast to coast to coast to discuss ways we can make our Parliament and our democracy stronger. While Stephen Harper shuts down Parliament to avoid answering tough questions, New Democrats are reaching out because we're committed to ensuring our democracy reflects the will of all Canadians. We're committed to fixing Ottawa once and for all, and that's just what we're going to do. Je vous remercie beaucoup. Thank you.
And I'd now like to invite up the Honorable Stéphane Dion, Liberal critic for Intergovernmental Affairs.
Merci beaucoup. Nous sommes ici pour le Canada, pas pour s'attaquer entre partis politiques. Alors, je ne commencerai pas à dire pourquoi les libéraux sont les meilleurs en tout. Tout ce que je dirais, c'est que le Canada a besoin d'un meilleur mode de scrutin. Le mode de scrutin que nous avons, le mode de scrutin uninominal à un tour, n'est pas forcément antidémocratique, mais il crée d'énormes problèmes. In fact, our current voting system weakens Canada's cohesion. It artificially amplifies the regional support our national parties receive. That means that with 50% of the vote in a province at the federal election, a party may have all the seats. It's what we had almost in Ontario for 4 years. And with 20% of the vote, you may have no seat at all. That means that when you watch the results at each elections, federal elections, when you watch the results on TV, you ask yourself, which part of my country will be out of the executive branch? Will it be Quebec? Will it be the West? And it's not because you don't have conservatives in Quebec or liberals in the prairies. It's because the electoral system that we have artificially amplifies that and create the sense that our country is more antagonistic than it really is. So what are the solutions? I personally think that the solution is moderate proportional representation in addition to some form of preferential ballot. Moderate proportional representation that will help to spread the support of our national parties, help and preserve, if not enhance, our national parties' ability to aggregate regional interest. But not too much proportional representation, I'm sorry for fair vote, not too much proportional representation, because we don't want to multiply the number of parties that in Canada, a very complex and country with strong regional identities, in Canada is likely to create an addition of regional parties, if not regional blocks, provincial blocks. We have one, it's enough. As you have in Belgium. In Belgium, there is not anymore a national party at the federal elections able to be elected through the country. We need to avoid that in Canada. Moderate PR would be a great help. And to add to that, some form of preferential ballot in order to give to our parties an incentive to compete not only on wedge issues, if not attack ads and character assassinations, but also on complementarities and mutual respect, and to prepare our parties to cooperate after the election. So I have personally proposed a model of this kind that I called P3, which is a combination of proportional, preferential, and personalized vote. P3, vous pouvez regarder ça à mon site web ou à mon Facebook, ou you may Google Stéphane Dion P3. Alors, c'est ma proposition, mais je suis très ouvert à tout ce qui se fait. Je trouve très fascinant le travail que fait Wilfred Day de Fair Vote de son côté, en réaction à mon travail. Je pense qu'il faut qu'on cherche des modèles comme ça. Je voudrais terminer pour expliquer où en est le Parti libéral sur cette question. The Liberal Party and our leader Justin Trudeau supports preferential ballot, and we are numerous to think in the Liberal Party that we need some moderate proportional representation. Early next year, we'll have another convention coming up, and we are already looking for new ideas, new members and supporters, so you're welcome. Justin Trudeau strongly believes that Canadians need better choices when they enter the voting booth, and is committed to ensuring the party's grassroots have a real voice in the party. So, on a toujours ce débat au sein de notre parti. Je crois que ce qui est réaliste d'espérer, c'est qu'en 2015, tous nos partis nationaux s'engageront, s'ils sont élus, à avoir une étude approfondie touchant la façon par laquelle nous pourrions améliorer notre mode de scrutin qui en a bien besoin pour améliorer la démocratie canadienne. Merci beaucoup.
All right, and I'd now like to welcome up Deputy Leader of the Green Party of Canada, Georges Laraque.
I'm gonna have to bend down a bit. Hi, everyone. First, I'd like to thank Anita and her team for having this today and inviting me. It's quite an honor to be here, especially considering Elizabeth couldn't be here today. She's working really hard. She's in Saanich-Gonfalon right now, and you guys know how hard she works. She was voted Deputy of the Year, so you know she can do everything. So that's why I'm here, and it's an honor to be here with everybody in this room. And to talk about the reform, you know, I could throw numbers at you, 24, 40, or 60. Those are all numbers that everybody knows, but to me, la chose qui me frappe le plus, c'est qu'en 2008, le fait que les Verts ont eu près de 1 million de votes, on n'a eu aucun député. Quand on parle de vote, mais le fait que ces gens-là qui ont voté n'ont pas eu une voix verte, ici même à la Chambre des communes, montre qu'il y a un problème avec le système qu'on a présentement. Mais on peut parler de plein de choses, comme le fait aussi que présentement à Montréal-Nord, presque à tous les jours, je rencontre les gens, je frappe à la porte, puis les gens me disent toujours la même chose. Le fait que leur vote, les gens, la raison pour laquelle ils ne votent pas, c'est parce qu'ils pensent que leur vote ne compte pas. Parce que les gens, ils n'ont pas de voix. Même les gens qui veulent voter pour le Parti vert vont dire qu'ils n'ont pas de chance d'avoir de voix à la Chambre des communes. Donc, il y a un problème avec le vote. Puis aussi le fait que souvent les votes maintenant sont rendus stratégiques. Les gens ne votent plus pour le parti qu'ils prennent à cœur. Ils votent pour un parti qui peuvent défaire un autre parti. Puis ça aussi, c'est un autre problème aussi par rapport au vote qu'il faut changer, qu'il faut faire des changements. Mais the fact that we're all here today, there's one even more important thing that we have to do. I understand that, you know, every time a party loses, you know, we gather together and complain, just like when the Liberals were in power for 15 years and we were complaining. But this fact right now, it's a good cause. But what I want to say to Mr. Dion and Mr. Mulcair is the fact that if you guys win in this election coming up, will you guys still sign and still reinforce the fact that you disagree with the voting system and you will change it? Because if you guys don't, then we're going around and around and win this for nothing. It's really important that we not just sign the reform, but the parties that wins will make the change when they're in power. And us, me, George Rock, and the Green Party, we do make the sole promise that if we do win, we will fight to change the voting system, because this is what's fair for all Canadians, to make a change. And we got to take a stand even if you win, because otherwise what we're doing here today is useless. Thank you.
All right, and finally, I'd like to invite out Matthew Carroll, the campaigns director for leadnow.ca.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matthew Carroll, as Anita said. I'm the campaigns director with Lead Now. Lead Now is an independent advocacy organisation working to bring Canadians together from across party lines, from coast to coast, to take action on the issues that matter. Since our launch just before the last federal election, our online campaigning community has grown to include over 300,000 Canadians. What we keep hearing over and over again from our community is a growing outrage at the current government's abuses of our democracy, as well as a deep desire for positive change. Together, our community has decided to focus on 3 areas: building a fair economy, real action on climate change, and electoral reform. It's our broken electoral system that too often encourages parties to war against each other instead of working together cooperatively. It's our broken electoral system that gave the current government total power to shift the direction of the country through divide and conquer tactics with the support of only a minority of Canadians. Now, democracy isn't an end in itself. It's a means by which we can come together to make progress on the major challenges we face. We know that it's going to be almost impossible to achieve the real progress most Canadians want to see while we still have our broken electoral system with winner-take-all voting and the division it encourages. So our community has decided to work on achieving a more proportional voting system for Canada as one of their key priorities, and we're going to be informing Canadians, engaging them, and then organising on the ground in key ridings in the next election to make it happen. Our focus for 2019 will be getting out the vote for candidates that have the strongest positions on the issues and who can win in the ridings our community selects. Our hope is to see a government in power with an unshakable commitment to implement a fair voting system, so we never again have to deal with the unjust election results and can instead focus on making progress on the major challenges that we face as a country. Thank you very much.
All right, and now I'd like to open it up for questions. If you have questions in French for Fair Vote Canada, please direct them to our National Capital Region President, Julien Lamarche, because I am not bilingual. So go ahead.
Mr. Trudeau, during the leadership race, talked only about preferential ballot. He did not talk about PR. In fact, he seemed to think that was a bad idea.
Yes.
You have his support when you're talking about some
Yes.
form of moderate PR?
When I speak about moderate PR, it's my personal view that I'm allowed to express with the support of my former leader, Bob Rae, and my current leader, Justin Trudeau. The debate is going on in our party. Preferential ballot is a first step. I would argue that it's helping to change the political culture in Canada to prepare our parties to be more ready to cooperate together. But at the same time, it does not solve the main problem I identified, which is that the current electoral system exaggerate artificially the regional support of our parties and make the country looking more antagonistic than it is really. So for this very reason, I will continue to argue that moderate PR should be added to preferential ballot as a solution, and I will make my point well known in my own party. My aim, as I said, is that all political parties, it's why I was pleased to be invited by Elizabeth May at her convention a year ago, all political parties should commit to truly look at the ways to improve our electoral systems once elected, and to in order to avoid the pattern that Mr. Larac just mentioned, where a party is elected and once elected, with the current rules, start to love the current rules and do not change them. So we should have strong commitments that will be sincere, and we'll look at that in order to improve our democracy at the federal level and also at provincial levels if provincial parties want to do that in their own province.
I guess maybe for Anita, yeah. Unless somebody else can answer. You mentioned that there have been 6 commissions or studies into this into the electoral system. I'm familiar with Ontario a few years ago and BC.
Yep.
What were some of the other? What were the other ones?
Ontario, BC, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Quebec. And very importantly, in 2004, the Law Reform Commission of Canada did an extensive report called Voting Counts, Electoral Reform for Canada, which was actually commissioned by the Liberal Party. And the outcome of that study was to recommend a mixed member proportional system with open lists for Canada.
How do you get around the problem that every time PR has been put to a vote provincially, it's lost? People find it too complicated or something that they can't wrap their heads around.
I guess I would answer that by saying that for the past decade, public opinion polls have consistently shown that a strong majority of Canadians agree with the principle of proportional representation. They believe that our votes should count, and they believe if a party gets 30% of the vote, they should get 30% of the seat. And the most recent poll showed that that number is now up to 76% of Canadians. So there's a strong will among Canadians to reform our electoral system and make it more fair. The problem in a referendum, when you set a bar at where you require a 60% support level, and often this comes from a government that was elected on 30-some% of the vote, it's a very high bar to reach. And in Fair Vote, we believe in meaningful public consultation and evidence-based processes. But at this point, we are not advocating another made-to-fail referendum. We are advocating an evidence-based process and consultation with citizens.
Sarah, are you okay with that idea of not consulting, say, through a referendum on PR?
This is not constitutional change, but it is profound change in our society, and that type of profound change cannot be brought about unless you have strong support in society. So the first thing that we would do if we got a mandate that we're hoping for in 2015 is to start a very broad-based consultation across Canada. We would strike a panel of the most recognized and respected experts in the matter, and we would determine from there where we could go. Our position, though, is a long-held one. It's not just my position. It's been the party's position for over 40 years. So we're seeking a mandate on that, Joan, clearly in 2015. We want to move forward with proportional representation, and we don't want it to be bogged down in just another series. Whether or not that would require a referendum, it's certainly the best measure of the public support for this. But we're determined to see this through. So in 2015, we're seeking a mandate to govern, but we're also clear on two very fundamental things that we intend to accomplish. One is abolition of the Senate, which is constitutional change. The other is proportional representation, which is not, but is profound change that does require strong social adhesion. It's not something that any government would be allowed to bring in without making sure that there is strong public support for it. So the measurement of that, of course, could come in the form of a referendum, but it could also come in other forms as well. But we would not be able to do it unless we had the Canadian voting public on side. The whole purpose of this is to make our society more democratic. So you can't bring about this type of profound change without strong, broad-based support across the country, and we'd work very hard to attain that support.
What do you think accounts for the fact that when this has been put provincially to people, they voted it down? I mean, is there some way of making this more understandable to people?
What a wonderful choice of words. I think that essentially it is something that people sense should be done, but if you get lost in the weeds on the details of its application, it's very hard to bring people along. We've always advocated what's called a mixed proportional system. So that would involve some of the first past the post system that we have now for a good number of the seats, but we would also add the balancing approach that we see in the advantage of some proportional representation. So this notion of mixed proportional, by the way, in some of the studies that Anita pointed to, seems to be the one that is the best adapted. Some Commonwealth countries have done it and moved forward with it. New Zealand was a good example, but it's a very, very tough system to institute when you're used to the one system that we have now. So it's, again, it has to be the object of very strong support across the country. The way to do that is to talk to people, to consult, because if the whole purpose is to make it more democratic, the last thing you're going to do is make a move that's undemocratic. So you have to make sure that you've got strong support. But we would start on that right away. We would hit the ground running on that. And it's a clear mandate that we're looking for when we hope to form government in 2015.